Hello everyone, I got a great trick today. I always love performing this one and I'm going to get straight in with it. So here I have a normal deck of cards, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the two one-eyed jacks to help me with this trick. So you can see these are the only two jacks in the deck which have one eye, and they hold special properties because if I put one card in between them, this makes a one-eyed jack sandwich. Okay, so now I just ask the spectator to pick a card, and say they pick this card right here, and then they would just take a look at this card. There it is. Alright, so now I'm just going to stick the one-eyed jack sandwich somewhere in the middle of the deck, and as you can see, it really is there, right in the middle. Okay, now what I do is I just give the deck a little cut. There we go. And now I just take your card and just put the deck right on top of it. And just say, yeah, that really is your card, isn't it, right there? Yep. And now what I do is I just take a card and just say, okay, I'm just going to riffle down with this card. In fact, you take the card and just stick it anywhere you want in the middle of the deck. Okay, and then just take it and just stick it there. Okay, and I just say, right, you stuck it right there, so I'm going to cut right to that card. Okay, there, and just cut right to that card, right where you asked me to. Alright, so now just spread it out and show that in this deck here we have somewhere in this deck face down your selection, and we still have here the one-eyed jack sandwich. And if we just take a look at the one-eyed jack sandwich, I think you'll be surprised because they are that clever that they have just put your selection right in the middle of them. Okay, so let's have a look at how that trick is done now. Okay, it's quite an easy trick to perform, but it always gets great reactions. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're just going to have a completely impromptu deck, so this can just be mixed as much as it needs to be. And then you're just going to start the trick by explaining that you're going to take out the two one-eyed jacks, the jack spades and the jack hearts. Okay, then you're just going to explain that they have magical properties, you know, make up any story you want, just to add the pattern, just make it run more smoothly. Then you're just going to take the top card off the deck, not showing its face. It doesn't matter what card it is, this is indifferent. And you're just going to stick it in between them and explain this is a one-eyed jack sandwich. Then you're going to spread out the deck and ask for a selection. They take a card and they take a look at it. Okay, so this card, in this case, the selection is the three of spades. And then they just take a look at that. Then you put the one-eyed jack sandwich on top of the deck, and what you do is you cut it right into the middle, and this is genuine, it's actually going in the middle. Then you just show them that it's right in the middle, and while you are doing this, right underneath the deck here, what you are doing is, here's the selection, here's the indifferent card here, and what you're doing is you're catching a break underneath this top jack here. So let's do it a bit more simple, spread them out a bit more evenly. But in the trick, obviously, you won't spread them out this much. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to catch a break under this top jack here. So you're just going to close your claws up. You can make it messier because that makes it easier to catch a break. You're just going to catch a break underneath this top jack here. And just close it up. And right now, you have a break under that jack. As you can see, there is the jack. Alright, so you're just going to have a break underneath that jack. Now you're going to take a packet, half of these cards here, the triple cut control, what you're going to do here, you're going to take half of these cards here off the top, you're going to put it down, you're going to take the other half, which the jack should be right underneath this, and put it down next to it. Then you're going to take the remaining pile, put it on top of these cards on the left, and then take everything and put it on top of these cards on the right here. Now all you've done effectively here is you brought this to the top, covering the second jack here, and you'll have the top jack right on the bottom. So if this part was cut again, it'd be stuck right in the middle of the jacks. So the top jack on the bottom and these two cards on top. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to take this card and just put it face down. You're going to put the deck on top of it. Now all you need to do now is effectively, if this deck is cut, it will be locked in between the two jacks, as you can see. Here, hang on, it'll be locked in between the two jacks, but this card would also be this card that we put in there in the beginning. So what we need to do is we need to get rid of this card. So what we do is we just put the deck on top of the card, we turn it over on the tips of your fingers. So you're holding it all on the tips of fingers now. And then you're just going to say, is this your card, yeah? And then you're going to take a card quickly from the top without drawing attention to it really. And just say, stick the card wherever you want in the middle of the deck. And they'll just stick it somewhere. And make sure you hold the deck pretty tight. You don't want to expose this face down card of this one. So you hold it pretty tight and you just say, right, you stuck it right there. And I'm going to cut to where you put that card. And then you cut to it. And now that's just sandwiched their selection in between the jacks, and you just spread it out and say somewhere in this face down cards is your selection. And then if you remember, we had the one-eyed jack sandwich in there from earlier on. And then just show, you say, look how clever these one-eyed jacks are. They've put your card in between, your selection in between them. And that's effectively the trick. It's pretty simple. The only part you need to make sure you get down is make sure you smoothly catch that break under the top jack. And that's effectively the only difficult thing really in this trick. The rest is just misdirection and good patter to make the trick flow nicely. Okay, so that's it, and I hope you enjoyed it.